Hey guys, what's up? Lucky Cheese 7, aka Shark Productions, aka Shargrana, is back again to give you guys my review on Star Wars Rogue One, or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, however you guys want to say it. And is it good? That's what you guys find out. Now, to give you guys a basic rundown, I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free section for the review first, and then for the rest of the video, I'm going to be going into some deep, heavy spoiler territory. But don't worry, I'll give you guys a heads up on when that's going to happen, so if you guys don't want to hear anything regarding spoilers, you can exit the video and then you can come back after you see the movie, and then we can talk about it like good people. The story of Rogue One, without going into these spoilers, is essentially the opening crawl to A New Hope. It's about a group of rebel spies that get the Death Star plans and they have to transmit it. Like, that's essentially the plot of the movie in and of itself. At the same time, you gotta wonder, so what makes the movie stand? If the plot's that basic, what stands out about it? The characters. Jyn Erso, because this movie starts out with her. When you see what she goes through in the beginning as a child, and then it cuts straight to her as an adult, and you see the stuff that she has to go through, the scenes that she has, it's powerful. It's very powerful, and made me feel a lot for the character. You've also got characters like K2SO, who I think is just funny. There is just a lot of stuff with K2SO that are just flat out funny. I don't know what to say, but I can tell you, a lot of people, as soon as they finish watching this movie, they're like, yo, K2SO, gotta get the toy right now. Like, that's the big thing I know that's gonna happen after watching the movie. And you also got characters like Cassian Landor. He's set up a particular way in the beginning of the movie, and then when you get to the end, you're just like, whoa. Like, it's not, like, huge, but he does grow as a character, and that's what I particularly like. You've also got, like, some characters that are a lot, that don't go through, like, a huge sense of development, but they're interesting characters, like Donnie Yen's character, like, the one who can see the Force, and he, like, I don't remember the line necessarily, but it was like, to be one with the Force, I am one with the Force, something along that line, but his character was interesting. He could, like, think of Toph from Avatar The Last Airbender. That's exactly the kind of character that he is. Only not really connecting and doing, like, earthbending shit. Like, that's not what you see with Donnie Yen's character. Saw Gerrera, he's a character from Clone Wars. I think his character was okay. I mean, he had very little screen time, much so like Galen Erso, but the impact that the two characters have, actually not even that, what the impact that every character has in the movie, especially like when the big moments happen, like, it is big. Like, I mean, you are going to be sitting there going like, I cannot believe that happened. Also, we got like great cameos too. I'm not going to name a few, and I'll save that for the spoiler section, but one obvious, Darth Vader. He is in the movie, but if you're expecting a lot of Darth Vader, lower your expectations. That's all I'm going to say, because Vader isn't in the movie that much. In fact, I will even say that Vader maybe has like 2 to 3 scenes at the most. But the scenes he's in, it is like, whoa. Like, when you see Vader and you see the shit that he does, it's exciting, but it's also like, whoa, back up. I do not want to mess with this guy. That's the kind of suspense that Vader brings when he shows up on screen, in the amount of, in the amount of time that he's given in the movie. But I think he's used effectively. Let me just say that right now. We've also got a character like Krennic. He is a part of the Empire, and you're seeing what he wants to do with the Death Star, but he's not very black and white. Like, you see some of the motivations that he has in the movie, and I think he was pretty cool, in my personal opinion. That pretty much covers my non-spoiler section for this review. What's my overall rating? I'm gonna have to give it an amazing plus. I think it's an amazing plus movie, simply because the plot, yes, it is kind of basic. However, the characters are what really drive the story. Not a lot of them have a great ton of development, like I mentioned before, but what you see Jyn go through, what you see Cassian go through, K2SO, the little amount that you have seen Vader in, also seeing what Krennic can do as well, it's great. And the way this movie ends makes you want to go home and immediately watch A New Hope. Like, that's the kind of sense that I felt after walking out of Rogue One. And that's exactly what I did. Overall, guys, that is my non-spoiler section for Star Wars Rogue One. Let's just go ahead and jump right into Tarkin, because his role in the film is very integral. There's like this big conflict between Tarkin and Krennic, per se, more so than Tarkin, because Tarkin is the one that's kind of like in command, but you have Krennic, who wants to take all the credit for the Death Star, and that's something like he always tries to go for. And I kind of feel bad for him. I'm like, you know what? Like, he's a cool villain, but when it comes to Tarkin, it's like, yeah, you're never gonna reach my status. You definitely see, like, not everyone. It's not like, oh yeah, we're all working together, we're the Empire, everything's all peace. No, there's always this tension and conflict. Like, even with the rebellion, too. Because a particular group of rebels are going after Galen Erso, and the objective is to kill him. And then you have some rebels that are like, no! No, 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 no. So it's not very black and white. There's always this gray area within the movie between both sides, and I think that's really good. I gotta give Gareth Edwards credits for doing what he was able to accomplish in the movie between, you know, both the Empire and with the Rebellion. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, we're all band together, because there's always that sort of inner conflict within each side, and I think that worked out pretty well. To know that every character in the movie died, like, they didn't all die at the same time. It was like slowly but surely. Like, one person gets killed off, another person gets killed off, and they're not the same kind of deaths either. Like, each character dies off a different way. Saw Gerrera, like, he told Jin to run. Like, Saw Gerrera was someone that Jin was close to. He was, in a sense, like, Jin's guardian. And to know the fact that he's like, no, I can't run anymore. I gotta do this. I gotta stay behind. And he's just there as the planet Jedha just blows into smithereens. Again, more connection to Jit, and why I kind of feel bad for the shit that she has to go through, because she's seeing people go left and right. And the same thing even happens with her own dad. When she sees him in the hologram and the message that he's sending out to her about the Death Star plans, which, by the way, I actually do really like that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But she's doing this, the whole premise of the movie is not only just to get the Death Star plans, but for Jin personally, it's to reunite with her father. Like, she's been trying to find him for a very long time. And to know the fact, not only the day, but when they reunite, like, he's literally at his dying moments. That's when Krennic shows up, that's when he's like, oh, which one of you fools has the Death Star plans? He straight up confesses after Krennic's like, okay, well, let's just kill everyone because no one's going to confess. And while that happens, Krennic kills everyone anyway, like, everyone in his facility. And that's when you have, like, Casing, because, like, he has the job of taking down Galen. And in the end, he doesn't really have to, because not only because, like, it's a change of heart because of Jin, but also because, like, Krennic's there, and it's like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Right when it happens, I mean, the whole place blows up. And, you know, Jin and Galen have, like, this last moment together. It's touching. I mean, seeing her own father, like, at his dying moments, and telling him, again, like Saw Gerrera, telling him to push forward, and not giving up, and to know the fact that, hey, you are my Stardust. Like, when I heard that, like, after seeing, like, the beginning bits of the movie when she's a kid, and him calling her Stardust, I'm like, and the foreshadow that led to in the movie was just, that was just done brilliantly. But we go from there, and we go through Donnie Yen's character, like, the way he dies. He went out because communications. Like, they had to contact the fleet to let them know that, hey, we're on the surface, we're getting the plans. And that's what ends up happening. And it's funny, because all these stormtroopers are coming and they're shooting them like, how are you? I mean, they're stormtroopers, they miss. At the same time, I'm just sitting here going like, are you kidding? Like, really, guys? Really? But no, he dies, and then the machine guy? I don't know his name either, but he ends up going out around the same time as Donnie Yen's character. And he does, like, he's like, okay, you know what? You killed my friend, now I'm going after you. And he does it for the most part. But then he ends up kicking the bucket. K2SO, this character, he, like, like I said before, he's genuinely funny. But when you see what he's trying to do, like he's trying to hold off the guards from getting to Jin and Cassian. And when you see him doing what he can to hold everybody off, and at the end, taking the bullet. Like, K2SO, Jin, and Cassian, in my opinion, were the more impactful deaths throughout the entire film. Speaking of Jin and Cassian, they're able to send the Death Star plans. But Tarkin, what Tarkin does is basically just fire the Death Star, because, Krennic's already down. He's like, oh, Cassian shoots him. And, like, right when Jin's about to send the plans, and then Cassian, like, gets a shot on him, it's like, whoa. I mean, damn. And speaking of Jin and Cassian, not just the fact of their deaths, which I will get to in a minute, but you do see this very subtle romance that's, like, building up. And I like that. It's not like, oh, I love you. Oh, yeah, I love you too. It's not that. It's very subtle. It's just looking in each other's eyes right as the planet's about to blow up, because that's what happens. Like, they kind of don't trust each other in the beginning, and especially the conflict they had. Like, when Jin's like, oh, you were just trying to go after to kill my father, and then Cassian's like, no, you're not the only one that has gone through shit. I'm like, oh yeah, like, he's got a point. Like, you're not the only one that's going through deep shit. I've lost family members too. And I think that really stuck out about their relationship. Is like, yeah, they didn't trust each other in the beginning, but slowly but surely, they started liking each other. And again, it's like I said before, going back to the Death Star, when it's blowing up the planet, when they're on the beach, they're just embracing each other and just saying, you know what, we did what we had to do, let's just go out. I don't want to say it's like William Shakespeare, but it definitely had that William Shakespeare-esque vibe to it, as far as like tragedy goes. And I really appreciate that about the movie. Saving the best for last, Vader. Okay, first scene that Vader's in. I think it's actually pretty funny with what he tries to do with Krennic. Like, because Krennic's trying to beg to Vader, like, oh, look at what I'm able to do with the magnitude of the Death Star, the power that it possesses. And Vader's like, settle down and do much better. There's a reason why Tarkin is going to be ahead of you. But you just gotta prove. You gotta prove to me, prove to the Emperor that you can do this. But he says it in like a very comedic way, and he brings up like a big force choke joke, and like I said, it's actually pretty funny. But right before that happens, like you see the ship landing, and you see one of the guards like going up to the Bacta tank. That's one thing I wasn't expecting. We all know Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader, but to see like the man behind the suit again, like just for those few seconds, I thought that was nice. It was like a nice little callback to Revenge of the Sith. And speaking of the planet they were on, I think that's Mustafar, right? So to know that Anakin was healing not only in a Bacta tank, but just on Mustafar, I think is actually kind of ironic, since that's where his body essentially burned, and that's where he lost like his arms and legs by Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously. That's just kind of what I have to say about that scene in particular. Like, just to know the fact that, hey, you saw Anakin just for like a brief 5 or 6 seconds before he put on the suit. And I just want to know, like, was that Hayden Christensen? Because I might be wrong, but that kind of looked like Hayden Christensen, just for the brief, maybe 6 or 7 seconds that we saw Vader without the suit. It's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. Let's get to this now. The last scene, okay, with Vader, like when you're seeing all the rebel soldiers, like on the ship, and they're passing the plans over to another soldier, like they're like, hurry up and open the door, we gotta send the plans. Vader's just there, like you hear the breathing, and you hear the lightsaber turn on, and everyone is like, yo, like, we can't we can't be slacking off now. And one of the soldiers shoots at Vader, and all Vader does is this. He's like, your shit ain't gonna work against me. And then they continue to do so. And they're like, hurry up and open the door, we can't do this. Vader just cuts down people. Like, the Vader we see in this scene is unlike anything we've seen Vader do within the movies. Like, to know what Vader did, like, it's like to see, like, think of what happened with Godzilla, the 2014 version, the other film that Gareth Edwards did. With what Godzilla did in that movie is the same thing as what Vader did. Like, he doesn't hold back. He's like, like, this isn't a joke to him. They're stealing the Death Star plans. Like, this is vital. And he pulls no punches. And I think it's actually amazing to see what Vader's able to do. It kind of makes you wonder, it's like, if Vader's this good, then why didn't he do what he did in the original trilogy? And also just knowing the fact that, like, the last Rebel soldier just gave the plans to Leia, and just ending off the movie with hope. I don't want to say that hope gets shoved into the movie too much, but it's definitely mentioned a lot. And to end off the movie with, like, oh, this is our hope now. And then you just see the ship go away, and Vader just looking very disappointed, like, damn, the plans are gone. Like, we gotta go after her. Well, the ship in particular, because he doesn't know Leia's on that ship by that point. And, I mean, dude, it was the way it ended. Like I said before, when you finish Rogue One, like, that last scene at the end of Rogue One, I want to say maybe a couple hours later, is the beginning of A New Hope. So it's like the story never finished. Overall, you guys, that is all I have to say on my review for Star Wars Rogue One. Like I said before, it's an amazing plus movie. Is it better than Empire Strikes Back? Because I know that's a big question everyone's bringing up. I know. I gotta think about that. Like, I gotta think about that for a long time before I make my judgment. But who knows? I might do a video on that discussion pretty soon. Aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Shark Grana, aka Lucky7, aka Shark Productions, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. And may the force be with you.